a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay. Blue skies, feel the wind beneath you as you fly.
Okay, so I'm back. Silhouette Studio ran into a little bit of a problem, so I'm having to start over. But I'm just going to start over with design number 2, with the design for the blankets for the girls. So I tried to offer a couple of selections. My time is really crunched and I don't have a lot of images and everything to play with, so I'm just going to try to throw together a really nice design and layout really quick. So I wanted to go with the sonnet, How Do I Love Thee. Right, I'm going to type that text in, make it a little larger, and I'm just going to run through this really quickly just so that I can try to get this done by the time I have to go to work, because when I get out of work I want to be able to have already sent a mock-up, get an approval, and then be ready to print and press. How Do I Love Thee. I'm going to select a different font for this. Control A to get it highlighted and to get my options back up there. Go to this, go to the font here, and I am liking, what did I use? That wasn't it. I had a nice font. Well, if I'm going to use that on the other option, I don't think that I want to put it on here. But I want to find something really pretty. Feathers is nice. Let's look at feathers. And then I'm going to fill it in with a color. I have pink hearts in mind. So for right now, let me just use this darker pink. And then I'm going to put the border on it the same. Right? And then I have that. So the way that I go about making sure, if I have a second set of text that is the same size and the same, it's going to be laid out pretty much the same, I duplicate the first text and then I change what is going to be written on the inside of that. Control A. So I have How Do I Love Thee. This one is going to say Let Me Count the Ways. Control A. Oh, why is that not working for me right now? Control A. That ain't working. Let's see. Pivot. There we go. And then I'm going to write, Let me count the ways. So right in here, I can see that I don't want these two texts. Well, let's just leave it for right now and see. Okay, so I have that. And then I am going to go and attempt. I have some hearts that I downloaded, different ones. I'm just going to drag and drop them up into the software and see which one I want to use. Is that all I got? Okay, just 3. Okay. So this one is already a PNG with the background and everything off of it. My idea was to get the hearts, right? Let's just throw that up there for right now. Let's just throw that right on in there. You know what? Wait, let me show you something. Okay, so if I wanted to make sure I didn't have all this extra space, this is really not 23 by 23 over here, this area. If I wanted to try and minimize the extra space around this, what I usually do is remove the background again. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because the way that I like to try and do my prints and everything is that I want to try to make it as true to the size of the paper. If I leave it like that, it's going to include all that extra space around the back. So now I've increased the threshold to 89. That seems good. Let's see. Let's go ahead with 100%. and then it'll bring it down to a closer to the edges of the actual image, and then I'll be able to decide how I'm going to move. Sometimes it even breaks the elements apart. This is where Silhouette crashed a little earlier on the other design, trying to do this. Okay, so we got it. Let's see if it worked. Okay, so you see that? Now things are apart, and I have better control over what I'm going to do with each thing. Wonderful. So that's what I want to be able to do. When I have a separate heart like this, this gives me more ability to be able to use those that came apart this way to put the picture in. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this for me to be able to separate that one heart that's over there. And so I'm going to take a circle. Let me zoom in so I can get right up close to where the edge of it is. I'm going to put a circle around it. Go back up here to my select tool and move the circle up here so that I get right there. I don't want to have anything else in there as best I can. And then I'm going to select over both like that. I don't want all of that. I just want these items here. Select everything there. I'm going to go to Object, Modify, and Crop so that I'll just have the heart. And I see I have just a little bit of the black up there. So I'm going to try one more time to get rid of that. Make a little rectangle over that black area. And then one more time, select all of it. This time I'm going to say Object, Modify, Subtract. Now I've isolated my heart. Okay. Now this gives me two separate individual hearts that I can use. Let me look at the edges of that. Okay, so I know I'm limited with how big I can make it without it being pixelated. Let's see how big this one will let me go. Okay. Okay. Now let me look at these, what I have here, because I may incorporate these as well. Those are really pretty with the little sparkles all over it. So I'm going to keep those elements. I'm going to, let me move this over so I don't lose anything. Over here. Now on a technical, I can just use any heart. It doesn't have to be that heart that came from there, but just to show you. So this one has a nice singled out heart in it as well. I'm going to remove the background from here. Okay. And hope that Silhouette Studio doesn't get nauseated and want to die from having to do that. I don't want 100, that's for sure. That's 97 is okay. Maybe go down to 96 so I don't get all those little prickly edges. 95, let's go with 95. Trace and detach. Okay, we got those elements separated. Great. Now let's do this one. Make it just a little bit bigger, just for trace and detach. Select trace area. Okay. This is just increasing my options to be able to put some pretty elements on the page. All right, let's take 95. If that doesn't, if it's white, if these little spots in there are what's going to end up being like white, it's fine because the blanket is white, so it will not lose any actual detail. We know that the printer doesn't print white. You would just be left with a void, and whatever color is on the item that you're printing to is what will end up being there with sublimation anyway. Okay, let's take this away. You see how it has all those white parts in there? I'm just going to bring it up against this. You see? So once it's on the white blanket, if I left it in that shape, then those elements in the background would be able to print out. If I did it on something darker, it would get even more, but we're just trying to see if I can use those elements. I may or may not, just because of how they're shaped. It may or may not be a great idea, but I have it there. Let me see what's the quality of this particular heart. If it's would be giving me something better to fill in with the picture, then yeah, this one would be better. So I can bring these hearts down back to where you're not going to see all that pixelation on it. Okay. All right. And then and then that gives me the ability to use those elements. These hearts, these flowers. And I think I can design something really pretty with these elements here. Okay. I may or may not use that one, but I'm just going to put it off to the side. So what I'm going to do immediately, I'm going to duplicate a couple of this flower a couple of times, because I have 8 pictures and I definitely do want to put them inside the hearts. All right. And I need to have them as individual items. Okay. So I'm going to go to my download folder really quick. I downloaded the girls. I had taken the background off of some of the images, so I'm just going to bring one in and see how it fares with going into the heart. I won't do it that way because, ooh, what happened there? Okay, let's move this out the way. Let's zoom back out some so I have more room to work. All right, let's try that again. Just grab a picture. That's that one there. I'm just gonna see. Yeah, no, don't put it straight way into the picture. All right, make it a little bit bigger. I've taken the background off of it, right? I'm gonna see if that would be a better option. Let me just take this over here for a second. Bring the picture over. Okay. Now let me go back and get the actual picture that came from. Okay. Chewing on our little fingers, right? All right, so let me bring that in, and oh, Father God. No, I don't. See, that'll fill it in good, but for some reason, you know what? I'm going to do what I typically do. Let me rotate the picture, because I really wanted this to be a quick process, but then I'm going to take the heart and lower the transparency on it. Make it a little see-through so I can see through it, so to speak. Boy, oh boy. Bring the picture to the back and the heart to the front. Get her cute little face inside of there. Do I want more? Yeah, I want more. Of course, why not want more? Straighten the heart out a little bit. Okay, now let's see how we can do this. Select both images, go to Object, Modify, Crop. All right, and then I have that. Boom. So I like that idea, but I also like having her sitting inside of the heart, keeping the, oh, wait a minute. Look what I might be able to do. Take this heart, bring it to the front. How about that? And layer it, make it a little bigger, and layer it onto this heart. What you think about that? Let's see. How does that work? Let's see. Let's put those two together. Hold that over there, right? I like that. Yes, I like that. I think I'm gonna like this one better. Here's the puzzle one that I was working on before. I may keep working on that. I really got to start getting ready for work, but let me do another one really quick. Really quick. I could do this really quick. If I'm not talking to you guys, just watch the process and then we'll try to take it from there. But I'm just gonna try to get this really quick in here so I can get my mock-up done. Bring that to the front. Lower the opacity on it. Transparency. Beautiful. Make it a little bigger. The picture a little smaller. Okay, I'll have to do something different with that one. Let's get another picture. Let's get this one. You know what? I wanna try something. Let me open this picture up in this. I may have to come back and after I turn these pictures around because they're uploading sideways. So I may have to turn these around. I may have to take this to work with me and work on it on my lunch. Okay. Let's just try and see if cropping the picture will help me out in any way. Not that it needs cropping, but sometimes. Save a copy. I forget who is who. Whether that's Isabella. That's Isabella. Okay, so I'm gonna say Isabella 1. And that's going to my downloads. Let's close that. Now let's go over here again to downloads and get that picture right quick. And I'm gonna see if now can I drop it into a heart. Yeah, when I work on it from there, it's doable. Now let me see something. Bring back the opacity on that. Get back up there. I'm not going to leave that like that. I just want to try and see if that's what I'm going to have to do in order to drop the pictures into the heart straight without having to crop it. That might be what I have to do. Okay. I'm not going to leave that cut split with her head like that. That would be one that I definitely would modify the other way. But I just wanted to see if that would be how I would be able to get the picture to come in straight. Okay. Let's just say, pin those together. All right. So, I'm going to have to turn my pictures around that way. So I'm going to come back after I get everything situated. I'll come back and then we'll continue to do this process. Or would it just be easier for me to put the pictures in there that way? Which one was I working on that I didn't? I wasn't able to get her. All right, so I'm gonna clip these two together because those are gonna definitely be together, and then I'm gonna make these three be a bunch together, and I'm gonna duplicate. Oh no, Control Z to bring that back. I'm trying to duplicate that, not throw it away. And then I have that cluster already grouped together so I can use it for something else. Bring that back over here and oh, you know what I was trying to do? This. Duplicate this. Ungroup that. Hold on. That was my original idea. Take this and make it a little bit bigger. Bring it here with this cluster of hearts and put this picture inside of there. Yeah. Yep. How about that? Okay. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So that it fills that heart. and then select the picture and that heart right back there and group them together. Okay, and then I'm gonna make maybe take this element, definitely duplicate that, right, so that I can use that somewhere else. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I got that grouped together. I need that. So what I want to do is break this up. Oh, hold on, I have something with a butterfly there that's smaller. I don't want it to be bigger than my paper. That's what my whole idea is. So bring that bigger, right? Make that a little bit bigger. If I keep it within the scope and the size, maybe make one of these elements to just complement the picture, the heart scheme that she's in. Move that to the back. Yes, yes, yeah. Okay. Let me do this, and I'm going to say object, mirror, flip it horizontally so I can get the butterfly on the other side. That didn't really work out, but okay. What I'm wanting to do is get the butterfly to where it's able to be on top. Okay, I could take that. I can deal with that. I want the butterfly to be showing. Okay. Oh, tedious work. Tedious work. We're gonna say bring that to the front. Yep, put that there. Put that there. Get a couple of hearts, a couple of flowers. Excuse me, bring this to the front. Stick that there. Bring it to the front. Put that there. Okay. Now make that little cluster a whole situation. Let's see. Group everybody together. And make that where it will fit inside of my paper. The largest paper I have is 13 by 19. The height on that is 14, so I'm going to have to move some things down so that it can fit. So this element here, I need to move it down some. Okay. So where's the one that I took off the butterfly? Oh, I deleted the whole thing over there. All right, so if in this instance, let's move this to the front. I'm gonna get it. Move this flower, move these butterflies and hearts to the front like that. Bring this flower back and move it to the front. Like that. I wanted to group that together. And how big is that? 13 by 15. 13 by 19. Let me make a 13 by 19 piece of paper first. Fill it with white so I can. Width is going to have to be 18.75 by 12.75. Okay, let's put that back there. No, that is not going to fit in there. So let me make that a little smaller so that I can get it on a sheet of paper. Okay. At that size, it will fit in a sheet of paper. This, I don't need it to be that big either, but I'm gonna bring it to where it will work. Alright, so this would be just a matter of turning it a particular way or the other. Alright, so I'm going to continue working on my elements when I come back from work and getting this all done. So these two elements are good. I just need this to fit inside of the paper too. And they all don't have to be the same size. Let me duplicate this paper. And then I'm going to make this one, width is going to be 16.75 by 10.75. Actually, it's going to be less. It's going to be 10.5 by 16.5, so that it's a 1/4 inch on each side. This is going to be 18.5 by 12.5. And let's bring that back up here and see what we got here. That was going over here. Okay. And then I'm going to turn this around. And it's just saying that it's 14 inches long. So I'm just going to piece elements that I'll be printing out together onto stuff. So this one is fine. This one, I need to turn it. And then the position that I have it in is what I'm going to print it in, because I'm going to piece these elements together on a page myself. I'm not going to tile it to print it. I'm just going to piece it together and have a lot more creative control on the canvas of the blanket. Okay, so that's good. That's good. This one is an 11 by 17. So I'm going to make this one a little smaller. Right. And you just gotta turn it a particular way. Those are good. I'm gonna take this element, bring it to the front, put it on my page. This one is 11 by 17. This one is 13 by 19. Make it as large as I can fit it on the page. And then I will put some other elements together with it. All right, I want all of these to come to the front. There is something right here that I don't need because it's just like a dot or a speck. I'm gonna put that on the page at a 4-inch like that. Well, I really should wait until I get all of my pictures. So I'm gonna pause right here and get this all together and keep working on my photos. Well, let's see, I got a few more minutes. See, that's the problem here. I wanted to do all the pictures in order so I don't miss one. But when you drag them this way, they turn sideways for some reason. And I just wanted to be able to drag them and drop them into the hearts. But as you see, that's not working out for me. Okay. Let me just move these elements over here. Move everything so I can work a little bit more diligently. Let's try a flower and see how that looks. If it allows the flower to fill up the way that I'm envisioning it. Let's just try. What can it hurt? I see some little things. Some little things here. Ah, trash. All right. So let's put her back on the flower there and try and see. I'm going to put the transparency back up, close it back to the full color because it'll and move that down just a smidge. So I'll make sure I don't cut off the tip of the flower. Object, modify, crop. I like it. Okay. Let's make it a little smaller. Okay. And then what we can do is take one of these flowers and give it some definition behind it. All right. Bring that on top of here and make the actual photo a little smaller so that it has the border of the actual flower. Let's see, let's group that together. Okay, and it still should go a little smaller. Put that over. All right, that's a fair size in my opinion, because it's going to be almost as big as an 11-inch paper, you know, 11.5 by 8. It's going to be within that confine, so that's a nice size image. And then I still have room on this 11 by 17 sheet of paper to put some other elements, which I will incorporate some of these hearts. And I do have some other butterflies that I can print out and add in here. So that's 5 inches, which is good, because I want to have different size pieces of things to throw around on the blanket. And whatever I don't use on this project, I'll still have in my arsenal for something else. Control Z to get that back to where it was. Right? And then how about if I duplicate this heart a couple of times and make some little small ones go around there, and they can print alongside the flower. What I really would like is this color right here. Put that and that together with the flower. So let me group everybody together. This heart and that heart. I'm going to group them together as a combo. And then those 3 items together, I can put them together just like that, so that I know that I want this all to print as one sheet of paper. So I put that together that way. When I come back to map out the blanket, I will separate it and then lay out the blanket the way that I want to, do a picture of that, so that when I go and print everything out and cut it apart, I'll know what I'm doing. So I got this picture, this flower here, this particular size. Maybe I want to make it just a bit bigger. 4.5 roughly. And then I'm going to duplicate that a couple of times, and then I'll put some more of them here. Put that one there. That one's not going to fit, but I can put some hearts on there. Yeah. And then what I do is just cut this all out as individual elements, and I can paste it around on the page wherever I so desire to put them. And that works for me. This is allows me to get sort of kind of an all over print without having to tile anything together. So since I do want, I can put my cluster, make a copy of this cluster, bring it over, just make it significantly smaller, and I can probably stick that in there. It's still a significant size in that it is 3 by 4, so that's a good size of a cluster of hearts. Okay, and this is just filling up the page so that I'm utilizing my paper to the best of my ability and getting making it so I can have lots of elements to incorporate in my design, but I'm not wasting a lot of paper. Okay, that there. And I'm not saying I need to fill up every iota of paper, but it does help to not have to use so many sheets. All right, so that's a cluster together. I'm going to, group those together. And then I have that down there. I'm going to duplicate this again so I can, create another. This was 16.5 by, what is it, 11 by 17? 10.5. Okay. And then I have another cluster. I have a bunch of individuals. I'm going to duplicate this a few times so that I have that. I'm going to duplicate these flowers so that I have those. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. No, it's not what I want to do. Okay. Control Z a couple of times till I get back to where I was. Okay. I just want to duplicate the flowers. Okay. You know what is important to do too? Bring them to the front so that I have all the elements. All right. And these are individual flowers as well. Okay. Put that back up there. What I am going to do is take one of these hearts, bring it to the front, skew it to the direction of this heart, and increase the size so that it's about the same size. All right. And then this will, I'm going to, for right now, attach it to that, group them together so that I can put a picture in here, and then I will still have that cluster. So this is just the creative process that I go through to create all of the elements that I'm going to use. These down here are already for print. I may utilize some of the images where I took the background out of the pictures and just throw them in there. I don't know what I'm going to fully do yet, but I'm going to keep working on this, and then I'll cut back in when I get everything laid out and mapped out. You're seeing the process, so I will still record. It may not be me talking, but I just may record it and have some music in the background with the rest of the process for this, because I really need to focus on the creative part, and trying to talk in the middle of the video is causing me to utilize more time. But you'll still get to see everything that I do, and then prayerfully, if all goes well, tonight we'll press this out together. Okay. All right. So stay tuned.